All right, welcome to our first week review for our beginning bridge class. We're going to be together in beginning bridge now for the next 9 weeks, actually, plus two more because we have to skip 2 weeks. So, this was your first experience with our beginning bridge class. And in this class, we introduced how the class is going to work. And we also introduced how the game of bridge works. So that was what we covered this week. Starting next Saturday, we're going to cover the actual bidding. What we did today or yesterday in our class was kind of a simplified version. We call it mini bridge, simplified version of how the bidding works, of how the game of bridge works. And we'll start getting into the specifics of it in the next meeting. So let's look at some of the things that we talked about. Can everybody see the beginning bridge syllabus?
Yes.
Okay, good. Um, it's improved things so much, I'm not sure what it's doing right now. Okay, so we went over the syllabus, and as we discussed in class yesterday, there are really two of us that are going to be teaching this class. I'm teaching the first half. My name is Sally Sasson. And then we have Linda Griffith, who will be teaching the second half of the class. I'm teaching the first four lessons. She's doing the next four lessons. And then our final get together, which is basically a play party. There's really probably won't be any lessons involved. She and I are going to be together for that final meeting that we have together. The syllabus that you have describes the order that we're going to be going through the book. Now, we had a problem yesterday in class in that we thought the books were there and we just couldn't find them. It turns out they had ordered the wrong books that were there. The book that we're going to wind up using is going to be this book, Bidding in the 21st Century. And in this book, we will go over every chapter that's in the book, but we don't go through them in exactly the order that they are in the book. We do for chapter 1, that was our first class. Chapter 2 is our second class. But then class number 3, we skip over to chapter 4. There is a chapter on no trump bidding, which you will find out what that is soon. But on no trump bidding, we have moved that till after the other kinds of bids. And the reason for that is we're changing some things that are in the book. So we want to get you fully established with knowing the other types of bidding, and then we'll take no trump bidding on its own. So we skip over chapter 3 and go to chapter 4. Then in class 4, we'll discuss chapter 5, class 5, chapter 6. And then when we get to class number 6, that's when we'll go back and pick up the no trump bidding in chapter 3. And there's another part of the no trump bidding in chapter 9. So we'll do both of those together. Then chapter 7, we're back now on track with chapter 7. Class number 8 is chapter 8. And then the last meeting is our play party where we will just play hands, just like you know exactly what you're doing. We will play hands for the entire time. We also ask that everybody fill out this guest application for membership in the American Contract Bridge League. The American Contract Bridge League is the governing authority for bridge in Canada, the United States, and Mexico. And besides being the governing authority, they also have a lot of information that they put out for their members. So it's really a good value for you to belong to this. Plus, it helps me and our club if you join this. They do a lot to promote these types of classes. And in order to do that promotion, they want to see people that are coming in as members that are new bridge players. And so that's why they offer this guest membership application. If you use this URL that's down here, that will give you or give us credit for you joining through our club. So we ask that you use it. If you prefer not to, just go ahead and sign on as a guest member through American ACBL, American Contract Bridge League.org. You can sign on there. This is a free membership, and it's free, not only free membership, but it's free in that you're not going to have to deal with a bunch of emails from them or other vendors trying to sell you something. It is really just a membership in the American Contract Bridge League. Um, you can keep on this guest membership as long as you want without ever actually joining. But if you want to have points recorded for you, that is, if you're playing, you decide to play bridge in our club or any other club, you'll win points. And when you win the points, if you want them recorded for you, then you'll need to change to an actual membership. The actual membership, regular membership, the first year you join is $39 a year. And every year after that, it's $59 a year. So it's not a big investment in any case. But this is for your guest membership. And I think most of you did apply yesterday because I got a notification from them. I think that 14 people had joined up. So those of you that did that, I thank you. And I hope the rest of you will get to that and do that before our class next week. We also had you fill out while you were in class this membership for our local club, the Bridge Center of Austin. And this is just to register that you are a student coming through our club and register you as a member of the club, which means that we will have your information there. And if you decide to play in the club, we can easily set you up and get any points that you earn assigned to you. So that's what that piece of paper is for. And I got one from everybody except one of you. And I will get that from you next Saturday when we have our meeting next Saturday. Okay, does anybody have any questions so far?
I was just wondering about the points that you say that the membership accumulate. Is that sort of a way for people to compare their level of expertise, or like somebody that has a lot more points as a experienced player and somebody that only has a few points as a new person, or what's the purpose of the points?
Well, the purpose of the points is to it's kind of like the Grand Prix where you get assigned points for winning, how you place in different events. Well, this is the same kind of thing. You get points based on how you place in every game that you play in. You
Oh,
don't get points in every game, but if you do well in the game, you will get points. If you
okay,
and it depends on what kind of game that you're playing. Um, Most of the games that we have at the Bridge Center of Austin are what are called open games. Anybody can play in those games, from the top people down to you guys could come into those games if you want to play, people that are just starting out. Um, and if you play in those games, you win the most points possible because you are competing against the highest level possible.
okay,
But we also have lower rated games. We have a game with people up to 500 points, another game with people for up to 200 points, and then the game that you all are probably most likely to want to play in at the beginning of your bridge career. And that's a game that we have on Wednesdays at noon, which is for people with just up to 20 points. And when you
okay.
don't have any points at all, 20 points sounds like a lot, but it's really not. It won't take you very long to get those points and to move out of that into some of the other categories of games that we have. But people keep track of these their entire life, and there are a lot of different levels of recognition that you can get. The kind of key one that everybody looks for, though, is Life Master. The Life Master recognition level is if you have earned 500 points, and some of those points have to be earned in tournaments at either a regional level or a sectional level. They're just different levels of tournaments, kind of expand more.
Uh-huh.
If you win points at those levels, plus having 500 points overall, you get the designation of Life Master. So
Okay.
that's what everybody looks for and, gets to put in their obituary that you got to be Life Master. All right. So that's what the points are for. And
Okay.
you'll find if you get sucked into the game, you will find that you start, needing and grasping onto those points. So that's what we do with them. Okay. We talked about the fact that bridge is a trick taking game. And that is, it's a game like whist or spades or hearts, where you play with a regular deck of cards, 52 cards in the deck. There are four categories of cards, four suits in a deck: diamonds, clubs, hearts, and spades. And in bridge, we rank them in order. Clubs is the lowest, diamonds is next, hearts is next, spades is next. So we put them in order, the suits: clubs, diamonds, hearts, spades. We also, in each suit, there are 13 cards in each suit. And so the 13 cards in bridge, the ace is the highest card. Some card games, the ace is a low card, but in bridge, the ace is a high card. And so there's the ace, the king, the queen, the jack, and then the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So there's 13 cards in each suit. If you sit down, there's always four people at a table in bridge. When you sit down at the table, somebody will shuffle and deal the cards around one at a time to each person that's at the table. And when you do that, there will be 13 rounds dealt out. Everybody will have 13 cards in their hand at the end of that time. So there's four suits, there are four people at the table, there's 13 cards in each suit. And when they're all dealt out, everybody actually has 13 cards in their hand. Of course, when they're dealt out to you, you will have a mixture of clubs, hearts, diamonds, spades, or you may not have any of one and a lot of another, but they're just mixed randomly when you shuffle and deal like that. So when you have had the cards shuffled and dealt, handed out to you, you pick them up, you count them to make sure you have 13, which is the correct number, make sure nothing's gone wrong with the deal. Count them, make sure you have 13, and then you sort them in your hand into clubs, hearts, diamonds, spades, using whatever system you want. I make sure to separate the red, the black, the red, the black, but doesn't make any difference which goes where. And then after you've sorted them into suits in your hand, then you sort them by rank. So from high to low is how most people sort them. So you've got your sorted hand because you're going to need to be able to see that for the bidding and for the play that's going to come up later. So that's what you do. In bridge, another interesting thing about bridge is that unlike other trick taking games where you can see only your hand and you have to kind of guess how you can do with your hand and what your partner may have in their hand. In bridge, everybody can see two hands as the game is being played, because once the agreement is made about what the contract is going to be, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but once we agree what we're going to play for this round, the person that made the agreement is called the declarer, and that person's partner is called the dummy. And the dummy just means that you don't talk. You are just there to do what your partner tells you to do. Doesn't mean that you're dumb. But anyway, so that hand, though, goes down on the table face up. So now the declarer can see the cards that they need to play in their partner's hand. This is a giant advantage because if you can see what your partner has and what you have, you can make some good decisions about how those hands best fit together for you and play them based on how they best fit together. So it's an advantage for a declarer to be able to see their partner's hand. However, it's also advantageous for the defenders, the other two people, to get to see what is in those hands because they can see their hand and the hand that's on the board, the dummy hand. So they are seeing 50% of the cards, but they cannot see their partner's hand. So they're going to have to use some figuring out based on what their hand is and what they can see on the board Their partner has the other card that's left. Either their partner or the declarer has whatever cards are left, and you kind of have to figure out who has what as the play is going on. This is what makes bridge such an interesting and fascinating game, is that by getting to see that other hand, there is so much more to the play of the hand than there is in spades and hearts, for instance, because you just don't have that information. And so a lot more of it is guesswork and luck. You can still, you know, be better at playing those games based on your ability to make decisions about things. But it doesn't have the depth that bridge does because that one hand is concealed. And in bridge, the one hand is exposed. The other thing that sets bridge apart from the other trick taking games that you play is in most of those trick taking games, you are making an experienced guess based on your knowledge and your experience, your level of play, based on how many tricks you think you can take. Because that's part of the game, is you announce how many tricks you think you'll be able to take. In bridge, we use a system for ranking those hands. We have a system for actually evaluating your hands. It's not based just on your experience and knowledge level. Everybody can use this system to evaluate your hands. And then we use a coded system of bidding back and forth around the table to decide what we want to do with those points. So the way that we value the hands, and everybody does this from beginner on up to expert. Some experts put some other bells and whistles on top of this system, but basically this system is used by everybody. What you're going to do is you're going to look at your hand, and can everybody see the hand evaluation that's up there now? The cards that say ace is 4 points. Is that what's on your
No,
screen? What's on your screen right now?
the syllabus.
Okay. Let me go back and start from the beginning then. Okay, now do you have it up there?
No, now I just see it. Oh, now I see it. Yeah.
Okay, so we have ace equals 4 points, king is 3, etc. Okay, so what we do is we look at all the face cards in our hand. Every ace is equal to 4 points. Every king is 3. Queen is 2. A jack is 1 point. And then we also add 1 point for every card over 4 in a suit. So if we have 5 cards in any suit, we add 1 more point. If we have 6 cards in another suit, we add 2 more points. These are called length points. If the average kind of length of a suit is 4, well, if we have more cards in any suit, more than 4, we add extra points for that. So you add up all of those points, and that tells you what the value of your hand is. Now, if aces are 4 and kings are 3 and queens are 2 and jacks are 1, how many points are in each suit? Well,
10.
10. It would be
10.
10. The 4 plus the 3 plus the 2 plus the 1, the ace, the king, the queen, the jack is 10 points in each suit, times the 4 suits is equal to 40 points in the entire deck. Plus, there'll be a few more points because we've added some length points. But we usually just kind of look at the 40 points as being what we're considering. So if you have kind of your normal share of the 40 points, you would have about 10 points. You know, as the hands are dealt out randomly over and over and over and over again, you tend to have go towards the mean, which is that you would have about 10 points. Sometimes you're way above that. You'll have 20 points. Sometimes you'll even have 25 points. Not very often, but sometimes. Often you'll have 5, 6, 7 points. Sometimes you'll have no points. That doesn't happen very often either. It happens more often than that you get 25 or 28 points. But so anyway, There's just a range of points that you could have. The more points you have, obviously, the more valuable your hand is. The fewer points, the less valuable your hand is. But that's how everybody values your hand, and that gives you an idea about what your hand is worth. As we are going through what's called the bidding process in bridge, what we're trying to do is use a coded language to describe how many points we have and what suit we have or don't have points in. That's what we're doing as we're going through the bidding process. So let's look at the bidding process itself. Can you now see the bidding ladder instead of that point counter?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We now have the bidding ladder up here. And in bridge, the first bid that you can make, the lowest bid that you can make is one club. Well, there used to be little things I could use to make this bigger or smaller. Those don't seem to be there anymore. I don't know about you guys. I love
Is it
AI.
the
Yes.
magnifying glass up that? Yeah, that thing.
No, that's a search.
Oh,
There used to be a little plus and minus.
Down at the in the far right bottom corner, there looks like there's a magnifying glass.
oh, right. That
Oh,
magnifying
here we
glass.
go. Let's see. Very good. Very good. There we go. Yeah, I love AI. I really do. I use it all the time. I think it's great, but it's caused all these changes in everything. And that's good. It's just taken me a while in my old crotchety nature to find these things. But anyway, so here we go. So there are the lowest bid that you can make is one club. And remember, I told you that they were ranked. See, they're ranked here: club, diamond, heart, spade. That's the rank of them. The lowest one would be one club, one diamond, one heart, one spade, one no trump, which is no suit, no trump suit. Then two clubs, two diamonds, two hearts, two spades, two no trump, et cetera, until we get up to the very top where we are bidding seven clubs, seven diamonds, seven hearts, seven spades, seven no trump. What these bids are, the bids are saying, I believe that I can take this many tricks plus six tricks. Now, that's a kind of a weird thing. But the reason for that is if we are going to be bidding, we are saying, I think we have more points than you do. Now, early on, both of you may be bidding, okay? But quickly it should become clear that one side versus the other side has more points. And we do that by the bidding process as we describe our hands in this coded language that I talked about. There are 13 cards, 13 tricks in each hand that we play. And of the 13 tricks, we are saying we're going to get at least six of those, which is half, plus one more, or two more, or three more. If we say we're going to get seven more, that's seven no trump bid, we're saying we're getting the six plus seven, we're saying we're getting all 13 tricks that are in this hand. So it's a little hard to get used to at first, but just remember that every time you bid, you're bidding at a certain level, and that level includes that level plus six more tricks. So if you bid at the one level, you just say one heart or one spade or whatever, you're saying, I think I can take seven tricks. I think I can get my share plus one. We're just barely, six and a half technically would be half of them. We're saying, I think we just get a little more. I think we can get seven tricks or maybe eight tricks. And you'll see over here on next to this bidding ladder, these boxes indicate the number of points, hand valuation points, you and your partner should have between each other. Because remember, this is a partnership game. We're always communicating with our best friend, our partner who's sitting across the table from us. We're always communicating with them about what we think we can do, what we have, and we're listening to what they tell us that they have, so we can decide where we belong on the ladder. And this gives you an idea of the number of points. If you just have 20 or 21 points between you and your partner, then you shouldn't bid much more than the one level. Because think of this, if you have 20 or 21 points, how many points do the other opponents have?
Similar
19 to
number.
20.
They have to have about 19, 20, 21, right around in that area. Both of you are about evenly split. So probably either one of you might be able to make one, or maybe neither of you can because they're so evenly split. So that's the one level. But as you start getting up in points like 22 or 23, now the opponents have a lot less. They've just got 17 or 18 points to your 22 or 23. As we go even further up, 24, 25 points. Now they really are going down. Now the most that they have between them is 15 points. So this is a zero sum game always in bridge. As we go up, they go down because there's the total number of points is 40 and it's divided somehow between me and my partner and the opponents. So in our
Question.
code, yes, Laura?
Oh, question. And I may be jumping again. So during during the beginning of the play, can you would tell, like, the defenders would tell each other how many points they have, and the declarer would know how many points that pair
That's
has?
right. They would be, all of us
And
keep
you would
their,
say it to the table.
yes, you say it to the table, or in our case, we're going to be using the little bidding cards. But in either way, yes,
Oh,
everybody knows and is hearing what everybody else is bidding. Uh,
okay.
Another thing about bridge is a very ethical game, and everybody is expected to follow certain rules. One of the rules is that you cannot have any secret bids between you and your partner. You can't have any secret understandings between you and your partner. Everybody needs to understand what everybody's bid at the table means. Everybody needs to be open about what their bids mean. So, yes, as we're all bidding around, all of us are gathering information about what the other person is bidding. And we're going to use this, we're going to remember this information, and we're going to use this information during the play of the hand. Because if one of my opponents has made a bid that says I have a lot of hearts in my hand, then I'm going to know that my hearts plus their hearts plus the hearts that I can see in my partner's hand as the dummy, I'm going to have a good idea about the number of hearts the other person has. I use all this information as I'm deciding how to play the hand. Another reason that bridge is kind of a deep game that you can use a lot of different information. Okay, so as we're bidding along, the lowest bid that we can make to start is one club. But we don't have to start at the one club level. We could start with one diamond or one no trump or even three hearts or three spades. We could start anywhere along the ladder. The first person to bid could start anywhere they want along the ladder. After that first bid, though, people can only bid higher up the ladder. You can never go back down the ladder. So somebody couldn't open one spade and the next person bid one club. See, that would be going down the ladder. You would have to go up the ladder if you wanted to bid clubs. You'd have to bid two clubs. So we always have to climb up the ladder. We can't go down the ladder. But you're not required to make the next bid up the ladder either. If one person has bid one spade, you could bid one no trump or two clubs or two spades or three no trump. You could bid anywhere up the ladder you want. You can skip, but you cannot ever go back down the ladder. So there's no requirement of where we start, and there's no requirement that we bid up just one at a time. We can jump up the ladder at any time we want. Excuse me. Now, we don't actually jump up the ladder very much. And as you learn the bidding, which we'll do starting in our next class, we'll start learning bidding. You'll find that you don't do the jumping a lot because you want to save space on the bidding ladder. If you just jump up, to a higher level, then it's hard to communicate with your partner. So we usually try to stay as low down the ladder as we can until we have a good idea based on our communication language that we're using as we go up. We want to make sure that we have a good idea about what we have and what our partner has. So that's why we don't jump up a lot. We pretty much usually just go one at a time, sometimes two at a time, depending on when you're learning the rules of bidding, you'll see. But what we're looking to do is find out how many points we have between us and what our best suit is. We're always trying to answer two questions. How high should we go up the ladder, depending on how many points we have? And what suit do we want to play? What suit do we have a lot of cards in? Or do we not have a lot of cards in every suit? Are we pretty evenly distributed? Then we probably want to play no trump, where there is not a trump. If we have a lot of cards between us in a suit, we want that to be the trump suit. We want that to be the wild card suit or the master suit. That suit will win every time it's played. So if we have a lot of those, we want to make that the best suit. If we don't have a lot of them and the other people do, then we don't want that suit to be the suit that we play in. We want to get to decide our best suit and play in that suit. And this language that I talked about, the bidding language that we're going to be learning, you will learn how to make these decisions about bidding. So you're always trying to decide how high up the ladder and what are you playing. So both the how high and where. Are you going to play at a suit? Or if you're evenly balanced, are you going to play at no trump? As we try to go up the bidding ladder, there are really three places that we're looking to bid if we can. And one of them is three no trump. The other two are four hearts and four spades. The reason for that is at those levels, you get bonus points for reaching a game. It's just those are based on the scoring, how the scoring works. If you get to those levels, you get big bonus points, either 300 or 500 points for reaching those levels in the scoring. You don't need to worry a lot about how the scoring works other than that. It's going to be in the first chapter of the book and you can take a look at it. But the key ingredients you need, I mean, I wouldn't, you're worrying about enough in bridge to learn how to do the bidding and figure out where you need to be than to worry about the scoring also. Because the scoring, you can just look at the back of the bidding cards, or when you play in games at the Bridge Center, you use a little computer and it'll tell you what the score is. So you don't really have to know how it works exactly. But you do need to understand that these levels are games. So what you're trying to do is in your communication back and forth, you're trying to think, how high can we go? Oh, it looks like we have 25 or 26 points between us. Well, then I like to be at three no trump or four hearts or four spades. Do we have enough hearts or spades between us to bid that? Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll bid three trump, three no trump. Or maybe you figure out you only have at the most like 22 or 23 points between you. Then you think, oh, wait, no, we don't have any chance of having the three no trump. We need the 25 points we need for game. So I'm going to stop as soon as I can below game. So you try to get to game. There's some forces pushing you up towards getting to game, but the forces pushing you down are, I don't want to go any higher than I have the points to be able to make. My hand value is enough that I can make that. So you try to push yourself up, but you try to hold yourself down and not bid too high. So that's the interesting thing about how the bidding, how the communication works as you're bidding with you and your partner and the opponents are bidding, that's trying to figure out where on this ladder do I belong. And as soon as I have a good idea about where I belong, I stop or I go to that level, whichever is the way that it occurs. Now, we talked about where do we want to play? Do we want to play in a suit or do we want to play in no trump? Well, in deciding if we want to play a suit, we want to have more cards in the suit than the other people do. And we've already talked about the fact there are 13 cards in every suit. So we would like to have more than the other people do. If we have 7, that's more than the others because they'll have 6, but it's not much more than the others, right? They've got 7, we've got 7, they've got 6. We're pretty close here. But if we have 8, then they just have 5. That's a better difference. Okay. So that's really what we look for. The 7-6 is all right, but we really prefer the 8-5. And that's what we call the magic fit. When we have 8 cards between us, and in our bidding communication, our little language that we're using, we determine that we have 8 cards between us. That's where we want to play. If we can't find an 8-card fit as we bid through going up the ladder, then we usually play some level of no trump. And you'll see more how these work as we get into the bidding and as we get into the play of the hand. But that is the purpose of the bidding. The purpose of the bidding is to decide how high we belong and where we belong. And in the coded language that we're going to be using, that's what we're going to decide. And the only things we have to use are these words: 1 club, 1 diamond. We use the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we use the 5 wares, the clubs, diamonds, hearts, spades, and no trump. That's the vocabulary of our bidding system, are just those numbers and those words, along with the word pass, which means I don't have a bid. And there's another word, double, which we can use sometimes. You'll find out way later in the class what the doubles mean. And another one called redouble, which has to do with the doubles and redoubles. So that's it. You guys now know the full vocabulary of the language we're going to be speaking, which is the bidding language that we use to decide how high and where we belong in no trump. In each hand that we're going to play. So as we decide that, as we have our bidding, we will be bidding up the ladder, and at some point there will be 3 passes. 3 people in a row pass. Once that happens, that's the end of that bidding sequence. And whatever the last bid was, that is what's called the contract. The person that made that bid first is going to be the declarer, and their partner will be the dummy. Their partner may have been the last person to bid, but if they weren't the first person to mention the suit or the level that they wind up at, then they are not the declarer. The other person, the first person to mention that the area you wound up in, is the one who is the declarer. The other person is the dummy. So the bidding might go something like 1 heart, pass, 1 spade, pass, 3 no trump, pass, pass, pass. That would mean I'm going to play 3 no trump, and I named the no trump first. So that is what I'm going to play. That's an unusual auction. It wouldn't usually go like that, but just for illustrative purposes. So the person that lists the no trump first is the one, and I was the only one that said it, so I'm definitely going to be the declarer in this case. If the bidding had gone 1 heart, pass, 2 hearts, pass, 4 hearts, pass, 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 or if it went 1 heart, pass, 4 hearts, pass, 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 I bid the hearts first, so I'm the declarer, even though my partner decided where we were going to be 4 hearts. So it's whoever says it first is the declarer. The other person is the dummy. Does this make sense to everybody, sort of, kind of, with as far as we've gotten now?
Yeah, I think so.
Good. That's good enough. So, okay. All right. Let's do one other thing because when we were in person, we could play the cards. I want to look at how the cards are played. So I'm going to go to an online system. of playing the hands. Can you guys see this on the screen? Bridge base says it. Bridge base. It's all about
Yeah.
Yes.
EPO. It's all about bridge. Okay.
Hmm.
This is a system that you guys can use if you want to. That will let you play bridge online. And I'm just going to set up a practice table. I'm just putting robots here in the other seats, and then I'm going to sit in this seat. Okay. And now it's going to deal out the cards for us. This is what it looks like at the bridge table, except that you can only see your hand. Here, I would only be able to see my hand, this hand that's down at the bottom. Then, notice that when we sit at the bridge table, we use the directions of the compass, north, east, south, and west, just to describe how the hands at the table. So we can say north did this, or east did that, or south did that. It's just to describe, rather than using the person's name, it's just to describe the seat at the table. So I am sitting in the south seat. Then we have west, robot number west. Another robot up here is in the north, and there's another robot playing over here in the east. So I look at my hand, and when it is first dealt out, I would have sorted the hand out. The computer did it for me. So now that my hand has been counted and sorted, I'm going to look at this hand and I'm going to see what my hand valuation is. Well, I've got 3 points here, another 4 points, another 3 points. That's 10 points. 11, 12, 13, 14 high card points, plus 1 extra for hearts and 1 extra for clubs, because see that I have more than 4 in each suit. So that's 16 points. Is that right? Let's see, 10, 14, 15, 16 points. This hand is valued at 16 points. Now, is this pretty good or is it not very good?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, right? Because my average hand would be about 10 points. So this is pretty much better than an average hand. So it's 16 points. Let's look at this hand. Ace and a jack, that's 5, 6, 7. They have 8. They have 8 high card points plus 1 for link. So this hand has 9 points. Is that good or bad?
Me.
Kind of average, right? Yeah, kind of, yeah. Well, how about this one? This is my partner's hand. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 high card points plus 2 extra for length. So they have 7 points. Wait a minute, 5, 6, yeah, 7, 8 points. Is that good or bad?
Kind of so-so.
Low average.
Not too good. Little below average. How about this guy over here? He's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and another 4 is 12, 13, 14. He has 14 points. Is that
Pretty
good
good.
or bad? That's
Good.
pretty good. Not as good as me. I've got 16. He's got 14. Okay. Since I was the dealer on here, the dealer is the one, and that's just assigned by the computer. The dealer is the one that bids first. And with this hand, I would bid 1 heart. You'll start learning later why I would bid 1 heart. And then the next person and it goes clockwise around the table and bids. The next person here bid 2 diamonds because he had a lot of points and he had some diamonds. And notice he had to go up the ladder. He wanted to bid diamonds, which is lower than hearts, but he couldn't bid lower than hearts He had to go the next thing up to two diamonds. Then it's my partner's turn to bid. My partner has a little bit of a problem here. My partner has some points and would like to bid, but he doesn't have enough points to bid at the two level, even though he's got some spades here. But there are some rules about when he can bid at the two level. And one of the rules that you'll learn is you have to have 10 points to bid a new suit at the two level. So he really doesn't have anything he can bid. He just has to pass. Then it comes to this person to bid. This person who has some good points doesn't really have anything to bid because he can't bid his partner's suit. He doesn't want to bid one of these other two suits. And he could bid clubs, but if he bids clubs, he would have to bid three clubs. And there's
Hmm.
no guarantee that his partner is going to have any clubs. So we might just go higher and higher without finding anywhere to stop. So he just stops, he just passes. And then the question is, what am I going to do? Well, I've got some extra points, but my partner didn't bid. So I have to make a decision. Am I going to mention these clubs at the three level when my partner didn't bid? Or am I just going to stop here and let the opponents play two diamonds? And the answer to me is I would pass. And the opponents then who bid two diamonds, then we had pass, pass, pass. Do you remember how that bidding went?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then when we had three passes, that was the end of the auction. That meant West is going to play two diamonds. And we can see right here, it tells us that's what's happening. So the person to the left of the declarer, West is the declarer. East puts their hand down on the table face up. This is a little bit artificial right now because we're seeing all the hands face up. But in my case, if since I'm the only one that's the real person here, I could see my hand plus this hand, the east hand that would be down on the table. Okay. I can't see my partner's hand up here, the north hand, and I can't see the declarer's hand, the west hand, but I can see mine and the other one. Okay, so my partner led the jack of spades. And we'll learn as we go through here that often you'll lead what your partner bid, or you will lead touching honors if you have them. And the jack is an honor, and it's got another card touching it, the 10 below it, the same level, jack and 10 are right next to each other. So if you have those cards touching like that, you lead the higher one. Don't worry about remembering that right now. We'll talk about that later. This guy then decided to play the queen. And look, the king is the only one I have. I must play it.
Hmm.
So I play that, and then he plays the ace. He won that trick. Now he leads, whoever wins leads to the next trick. So he led the six. My partner played the five of clubs. He plays the ace of clubs. And now there is no point in me playing a high club, right? Because the ace won it. So I'm just going to play a low club. Now, because the ace wins, now he gets to lead. And usually, what you want to do, remember, we're playing two diamonds. Usually, what you
Mhm.
want to do, you said diamonds is our best suit. So we want to, and it actually turned out diamonds was the best suit because look, when this guy saw his partner's hand come down, he discovered that they have an 8 card fit in diamonds, right? He's got six.
Oh.
His partner had two. So he's going, oh boy, what luck. I bid the two diamonds and my partner didn't say anything, but we do have a fit in diamonds. So that's good. So he wants to draw in our diamonds so that we can't trump. So he plays the jack. I play a little card, and then my partner wins with the king. Then my partner leads another spade. Now, notice that I had to play the king the first time. He's hoping that I am now out, either out or that his 10 is going to win. I have a choice here. I can either trump this or I can let his 10 win. What do you think would be the better thing to do?
Let his 10 win?
Let his 10 win. So then a good thing for me to do might be say, hey, partner, I've got a good suit. Remember, I've got a good suit over here. Don't forget. So I might play the 8 of hearts, a high heart, to tell him, hey, don't forget, I've got good hearts over here. So I would just throw away a little heart or a bigger heart. So he'll lead hearts to me when he gets a chance. Although
Oh,
he probably would anyway because I bid a heart. He already knows I have hearts. But anyway, I'm going to throw away kind of a signal to him. So he's won that. Now he leads another one. This one is not winning. The 9 is winning. So now I want to trumpet. Anytime I
oh,
don't have a suit, have a card in a suit, I can play a trump and the trump will win unless somebody plays a higher trump. In this instance, spades have been played several times already. So there's a good chance this guy, whose hand I cannot see, remember, this guy might not have another spade. So he might over trump me. I will play the 9, but he might play a higher one. But still, that's the best thing I can do. So I'm going to go ahead and play my 9 and hope that it wins. And sure enough, he has another spade. So my 9 of diamonds wins,
and
right?
he has to play that
He
spade.
has to play the spade. If he has a card
Okay,
in the suit, he must play it.
okay. Otherwise, it's cheating.
Otherwise, it's cheating, and it would become apparent because they would notice that you didn't play at the end. Towards the end,
Mm,
they would notice because everybody's counting the cards that they can count. Not everybody's counting every
mm,
suit, but it would become apparent
hmm.
at the end that you trumped something and had the spade.
Gotcha.
Because I'm going to notice if he over trumps me, if he did not have a spade and I played the 9 of spades, he could play the
Hmm.
queen of diamonds and he would win.
Oh,
But he had to play the 7 of spades, so I won. So then what do you think I should do?
hmm. Should you play your clubs, maybe? Oh,
Well, I could play the clubs, but if I play the clubs and I don't win, I don't know what is good in clubs. I might not be able to win those. And as it turns out, he's already trumping in clubs. So that wouldn't do me any good.
oh, I see. I
But
see.
I've got this ace and king of hearts. I better
Oh, okay.
take those
Gotcha, gotcha,
before those go
gotcha.
away, and he might be trumping.
Okay,
Okay. So my ace of hearts wins. So that's good.
okay.
Now I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
try it again. The king.
Mm.
Okay. Now 8 cards have been played in hearts, right? The
Oh,
ace,
mm-hmm.
that was
Mm-hmm.
4.
Mm-hmm.
The king, that's four,
Mm-hmm.
4. That's 8 cards. Now I can see 2 cards here. That's 9, 10. And I can see one card
Mm.
here. That's 11. That means there is, wait a minute, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Did somebody throw a heart away?
Or it must have been played already.
12. It must have been.
Was that your eight?
Oh,
Or
very
no,
good. Thank you, Laura. Exactly right. Remember, I signaled with that 8. Remember, I threw a heart away already.
that was your signal.
Right. So now here's what I know. There are 8 cards that have been played, plus the other one I played, that's 9. I can see 10,
Mm.
11, 12 here. There's one card out, one heart out. Either
Mm.
this guy has it, the declarer has it, or my partner has it. Who do I want
Oh,
to have it?
Well, you want your partner to have it, but
Well, if my partner
Mhm.
has it and this guy doesn't have it, what's he going to do? He's going to
Oh,
trump the heart.
You play all his trumps.
oh, right, right,
I
right.
really want him to have the heart and not my
Okay, gotcha,
not
gotcha,
my
gotcha,
okay.
gotcha.
So I'm going to hope that that's the case. I don't know that it's the case, but it's
Hmm.
really the only thing for me to do. So I'm going to hope that's the case. So I'm going to leave my little heart and then look. My partner was not the one that had it, so
Oh,
and got
oh, wow, that's so
okay.
interesting.
Yeah. So now he leads the queen, and look at my hand
Mm,
here. I've got the king, jack, 10, 4.
mm,
Did I put the
mm.
king on top of the queen, or should I play a
Maybe
little
not.
one?
Maybe a little one.
A little one, yeah. Because there's no
Hmm.
point. My partner's going to win if that's the highest one. There's no
Right.
me winning, taking away my partner. So I'll just play a little
Hmm.
one. But he's not going to win anyway because that guy is out. So he leaves the trumps.
Oh,
And now look at this.
oh, and he plays smaller cards, not the ace.
That's right. And he played his queen. He could have played the ace, either one. Didn't make sense because
Mm.
he knows the king has already been played. So either one of those is a winner. And he
Oh,
knows because he's been counting also, he knows that the only diamond left is the one my partner has. And so
oh
he's going
gosh.
to play that. And then I can just throw away any card. And then look, now that he has only diamonds left,
Oh my gosh.
he has to win the rest of them. So
Oh.
we'll play it out, but he could just say, I've got the rest of the tricks if he wanted to.
Mm, hmm. Oh, do people do that? They
Yes, they
just
do.
say,
They do
oh,
what's called
let's
claim.
not waste time.
Exactly right. That's a very good, Laura. That's exactly why you do that. Okay, look, so he took 7 tricks.
Oh,
How many tricks did he promise to take?
um,
Because he bid two
two?
diamonds.
Was it
Eight.
two? Hmm.
2 plus 6. He promised to take 8 tricks.
Oh,
And he
oh,
only
how?
took 7 tricks because we took 6 tricks. See, over here it tells us this the high bar is the north south bar, the tall one. So it says we took 6, he only took 7. That means he did not make his contract. If he had made his contract, he would have gotten 90 points just because of how the scoring goes. Instead, because he did what's called going down, he did not make his contract for 2 diamonds. He only made 1 diamond. He did not make his 2 diamonds. Then
Oh,
north south, me and my partner, we get points. So we're going to get 50 points. So he lost 90. He would have gotten 90. Instead, we got 50. So
I'm
see how this really
so,
turns.
uh, so, so the opponent said two diamonds, and I think I'm not understanding why they needed to get eight, well, eight. Is that just something I'm just going to need to
Well,
learn?
no, remember we said anytime you bid on the bidding ladder, you were bidding
Hmm.
that bid plus you're saying I'm going to take 6 other tricks because you're basically saying I can take
Oh,
half the tricks. Okay. So he
oh,
was saying I can take at least half the 6 plus 2 more.
oh gosh, this
That's
is
what the bid means.
complicated.
It
Okay.
is a little complicated. This part of it, you'll get over really quick of it not making sense. I mean, I
Okay.
get it that it's hard to get at first, but this part of the confusion goes away really quick because it's
Okay.
always this way.
Okay. So just a quick recap,
Uh,
because they didn't make what they were supposed to, um, they lose points, and then you and your partner
yes,
gets some.
yes. If on every hand that's played, like this is a hand, a deal, every deal that's played, there somebody's going to get points and somebody's going to lose points.
Oh.
If they had made their bid, they would have gotten 90 and we would have lost 90 plus minus.
Oh.
But instead, because they didn't do what they said they were going to do, we get the points. We are plus 50 and they are minus 50. So every time
Oh,
there's, it's the same zero sum game. It's always
wow.
plus and minus on each side. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that is basically how the game is played. At our class next week, um, next Saturday, we're going to learn some of the rules behind these bids that we were making, talk about how you know what to bid when and what you are saying when you make certain bids. We'll also review some of this and we'll play some hands next week at the next lesson too. You guys have any questions about what we've done so far then?
No.
Exactly right. I get it. Okay. Well, this will
Thank
all
you.
become better as we go through it. You will get your books next week, so you'll be able to read some of this, and that's going to help going back over it too. But
Mhm.
all right. Well, I will
Okay.
see you guys next Saturday then.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Hi, you bet. Bye bye.
Bye.